Hi, for today, let us do a revision on the solving and simplification of algebra questions. So I've chosen a question from O-Level E.Maths 2017 Paper 1 Question 1. Let's look at part A of the question. Solve the inequality x plus 4 over 5. Is more than or equals to 2 minus x over 3. As we can see here that there are fractions on both sides of the inequality, so it will be better for us to do a cross multiplication first. Next will be to expand. So we'll have 3x plus 12 more than or equals to 10 minus 5x. Next step will be to get the x on one side of the inequality. So we can shift the 5x over. We'll have 3x plus 5x more than or equals to 10 minus 12. That will give us 8x more than or equals to minus 2. And when we divide both sides by 8, we'll have x more than or equals to minus 1/4. So this will be the answer for part A. Alright, for now, let's look at part B of the question. Expressed as a single fraction in its simplest form, 2y over 5 minus 2y. Minus 3y over 5 minus 2y whole thing square. Alright, so before we start the question, for any addition and subtraction of fractions, we need to make sure that the denominators are the same. So in order to make the first fraction having the same denominator, we need to multiply by 5 minus 2y on the numerator and the denominator. So the denominator will become 5 minus 2y squared. And we have the second fraction here. Alright, for the next step, we can actually try to expand the numerator while joining both the fractions together. So by expanding this, we'll have 2y multiplied by 5y, that will be 10y. 2y multiplied by negative 2y, that will give us minus 4y squared. And we have a minus 3y, and the whole thing will be over 5 minus 2y squared. Next up will be to simplify the numerator. So we have a 10y minus 3y here, that will give us 7y minus 4y squared over 5 minus 2y squared. Alright, now for this part, we need to consider whether the numerator and the denominator can further be simplified. So imagine that we factorize out the y. That will give us y 7 minus 4y over 5 minus 2y squared. And we realize that the factors are not the same, so we cannot further simplify, and therefore we'll leave the answer as this. Alright, now let's look at part C of the question. We have simplified 18h cubed j cubed over 5k cubed. Alright, divided by 3h to the power of 5k over 10j to the power of 2. Alright, so now we realize that it's a division of the fraction. before we proceed on, it will be easier for us to flip the sign from divide to times, and the fraction will have to flip also. So that will means we have 18 h cubed j cubed over 5k cubed multiplied by 10j squared over 3 h to the power of 5k. Okay, so when we reach the multiplication of fraction, it will be a lot easier because we can then proceed on with the cancellation. So let's start with the coefficient. We have 18 and 3, so maybe we can cancel off to give this a 6, 1. We have a h cubed and a h to the power of 5. This we can cancel off, left with the power of 2. We have j cubed and j squared, so this will have to multiply later. We have a 10, so this can cancel off to give 2 and 1. And that's all. So let's recall for indices, when we have am times an, the power adds together, am plus n. Alright, so for this, we have firstly 6 times 2 to give us 12. J cubed times j squared, that will give us j to the power of 3 plus 2, which is 5. J to the power of 5. And lastly, we have the denominator, k cubed, and have a single k here. So power 3 plus 1, that will give us 4. K to the power of 4. And we have a h squared here. Alright, so this will be our final answer. Alright, now let's look at part D of the question. We have simplified 16t to the power of 8 over v to the power of 12 and the whole thing to the power of minus 1/4. Alright, before we start, let me revise you with the indices rules. Let's look at 3 of them. Firstly, we have m, n. This will actually involve the multiplication of the power am times n. Next, if we have a, b, both to the power of m, the power will belong to every term in the bracket. So we have a, m, b, m. Next, if we have a negative power a to the power of minus n, that will actually flip the term down. So we have 1 over a to the power of n. Alright, so to apply to this question, I will deal with the negative power first. Let us flip the fractions around. So we have v 12 over 16t to the power of 8 whole thing to the power of 1/4. Alright, next we can actually apply the second rule and bring in our powers to each and every of the term that's in the fraction, bearing in mind that it's a multiplication of the power. So we have v to the power of 12 multiplied by 1/4 over 16 to the power of 1/4 and t to the power of 8 multiplied by 1/4. Alright, next we have v to the power of 12 times 1/4, that will give us 3. 16 to the power of 1/4, that will be 2. And 8 times 1/4, that will be 2, t to the power of 2. And therefore, this will be the answer for our part D. Alright, lastly, we have part E of the question that goes, solve the equation 2 over x minus 2. So 2 over x minus 2 plus 3 over x plus 4. 3 over x plus 4 equals to 1. Alright, so we have an equation here and we have the addition of fraction on the left hand side with different denominator. So like I mentioned, we have to first make the denominator the same before we can add them together. Let us have a multiplication of x plus 4 on the numerator and denominator. And the multiplication of x minus 2 for both the numerator and the denominator. Equals to 1. So when we expand this, we have 2x plus 8 plus 3x minus 6 over the same denominator, x minus 2, x plus 4 equals to 1. Next, we can actually simplify the numerator first. And meanwhile, we can actually cross multiply and bring the denominator to the other side. So we can have a 5x plus 2 equals to, when we bring the denominator to the other side, it will be better if we can meanwhile expand as well. So we can have x squared plus 4x minus 2x minus 8. Alright, so it will be a lot easier now that we have everything without fractions. Next will be to bring everything to one side, as is from this x squared we can tell that we are trying to solve a quadratic equation here. So let's bring everything to the right hand side and make the left hand side equals to 0. We have a x squared. We have a 4x plus, or rather 4x minus 2x here. After we bring the 5x over, that will be 2x minus 5x. So we have a minus 3x. Here we have a minus 8. We bring the 2 over, will be minus 2. So there will be a minus 10. So this will be the quadratic equation that we'll be trying to solve. Okay, next, we can actually use the butterfly method. So x squared minus 10 minus 3x. So we can actually put a x here. Minus 10, maybe we can have a minus 5 and 2. Right? That will give us minus 5x and 2x to give us the minus 3x. For those who are more familiar with the other presentation, this is a cross. We have a x squared. We have a minus 10. So this can be x minus 5. This can be x plus 2. So we have minus 5x plus 2x. And both of these will give us the minus 3x. Alright, so from here, we have x minus 5 or x plus 2 equals to 0. So we can let either this factor or this factor be equals to 0. So x minus 5 equals to 0 or x plus 2 equals to 0. Right? Next step will be to solve for x. So we can have x equals to 5 or x equals to minus 2. So these will be the two solutions for our part E.